Hey everybody, coming back to Twitch, setting it up. Um, so just got back from the little chess club that we got going on Wednesday nights. My apologies in advance to those guys. I'm going to be out for the next couple of weeks due to family going-ons, but big shout out to everybody that was there tonight. Pops, Corey, Chris. Um, I appreciate you guys all being there, being there regularly. We had a new member come in. For the life of me, I can't remember what his name was. Um, I can't remember what the heck his name was. My apologies, man. Um, but yeah, we had a good time tonight, and yeah, let's kind of jump right into it. So the first game that I played was against Pops. I showed up pretty early tonight, so um, we went ahead and we played a quick game. Oh, Malcolm was there too. Malcolm, shout out Malcolm. And I played black. He played white. And he started off with, actually he started off with this move. And I just kind of copycat for a little bit. I don't know what this opening is that he's been playing, but this looks good. And um, I think here I played. I think I played here. Yeah. And then I was expecting something like this. Try to get, or maybe even this, get the bishop developed, get the bishop out. You know, um, it was interesting that he pushed this pawn forward instead of this one, because now your knight has got a more limited options. But that's the neither here nor there. Um, so I ended up playing. Oh, it was his move in this position. He ended up playing this move, and um, the way that he was playing, the fact that he had this bishop kind of hemmed in, his knight's not active. I had a feeling when he played this move that he played it specifically to target my b pawn. Um, and I told him after the game that this isn't bad. I'm sure from from as far as like a computer point of view, that this is probably fine for weight. Um, but at the same time, I knew that he was going to be aggressive with it because of the fact that he moved his queen out so early. And a lot of beginner players fall into this trap of playing the queen out too early, and then just making it a target a lot. So I know that he's going after this pawn, and I kind of baited him into it a little bit. By playing this move. I played knight to a5, and I knew that he saw that there was a check on this diagonal, and I'm just kind of prying the queen out further um, than she wants to be. And he actually ended up playing a more aggressive move to b4 or b5. I mean, and then he's double attacking both the check and the knight, but then I obviously saw this, and I played c6 so that I could protect the knight. I'm attacking the queen. The queen actually has to go back to this square because all the other squares are covered, that she has access to are covered. This by the bishop, this one by the pawn, this is by the pawn. All of the black squares, the dark squares here by the bishop. These two by the knight as well. These two by pawn. So basically, this is the only square to go to. So he backs up, and then I force the queen away. And what's funny about this is that in this position, because these are taken by the bishop, this one's taken by the knight, and this one's taken by this bishop here, there's only one move here, and it's the queen returns home. So if we just take just a snapshot at what this position looks like, going all the way back to b3. Yeah, there we go. Even before that, actually. Just before that. Yeah, there we go. So look at this position, and then look at this position. These, if you look, the white pieces have not moved. They have not moved. And in addition, I've gotten I've got my this pawn's up, this pawn's up, this pawn's here, this knight's here. I've got massive expansion from these two different areas, and I can definitely. We're just gonna take a quick look at it because I want to make sure one that this isn't a bad move. See, 0.0 or 0.1. It's an even game. This is not bad for white whatsoever. But if we go back to this position, and then we just skip forward like I did before, here, you've gone from a slightly better position to a slightly worse position. I've actually got quite a few moves in here from these from this position. So, and maybe e6 is the best way to go. Yeah, maybe e6 is the best. Yeah, because now it's my turn as well. Yeah. So I'm in this position, and yeah. And it's an interesting way to think about it, but because of all those forced moves, I've got a lot more space than he does. And I just developed naturally, just normally like this, and I think that in the game he ended up playing like a little bit more passively than I had anticipated him to play. He ended up not taking this. He ended up trying to do something like this, and I think I ended up trading. And then he moved his queen out and dropped his bishop because he didn't realize that there was this tension between the two bishops. But yeah, just in general, again, it's not a bad idea to bring your queen out. Just be mindful that you're going to be doing it for the purpose of still consolidating the rest of your position. You still have to develop your pieces out. You still have to get your king castled so that your king is in safety. You still have to develop plans. You just can't go attacking, especially when you don't have your pieces developed. So, so in this tonight, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to play a couple of 10-minute games, which are standardly not standard. They're short by like if you compared it to like normal chess, tournament chess and stuff like that. It's really, really short actually. But it's enough time for me to explain my thought process and to take a look at what plans and opportunities you have in an actual game. I felt like the last time that I did a video, I was doing tactics and I only got through 3 tactics, and it's true, you should be taking your time on tactics. So the fact that I got all 3 of them right and I got over 2,300 on my tactics rating, perfectly fine for me. But I think for at least for some of the videos, we should definitely just play some chess. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it on 10 minutes, and I'm gonna open up my chat on my phone. That way I can, because we're gonna go ahead and play viewers as well. So anybody who's watching, if you want to join in, feel free. I've got the chat up here. I'll try to keep an eye on it. Again, I'm not very good at Twitch just yet, so but I'll try to keep it up and try to look at the chat when I get a chance to. So we're gonna just go into 10+0 rapid. I don't know what my rating is here. I want to say it's 2,000 or 2,100. It's 2,136 right here, and I'm probably gonna start a new account up for my my streams, just so that people can add. But at the moment, I'm playing on my normal account, which is Crush Kinger. And yeah, so we're playing into a queen's pawn opening with the bishop out. I think this is just a regular London opening. I'm not sure what I play against the London, to be honest. But the general ideas of the London are to do this, which, yeah, is exactly what he does. To bring the knight out, to bring this knight here, push this pawn. You're going to develop the triangle formation here. And these are things that you'll just find out naturally over time. I like the idea of trading off this bishop whenever I get a chance to, because this bishop is pretty powerful. It is also known as the London bishop. I think that I'm going to play just a standard move like this. I know there's some ideas of this and taking. This is pretty standard. That's pretty standard. So he's actually allowing me to do. Well, no, not quite. I was gonna say he's allowing me to do this where I take the bishop, but he does have bishop here and here. So I think that just trading off the bishops in this fashion is probably for the best. So he's electing to go back with the bishop. It's interesting. I think I'm just gonna push the c pawn. This opens up a lot of different tactics with the queen coming to a5. Yeah, that's a pretty common response. I'm going to take this. I'm going to move my knights out. This bishop is still pretty powerful, and he hasn't developed his knight here. So I'm thinking about doing something like this, just to kind of centralize. And if the bishop comes back, I'm just going to do this, and again try to trade off these the bishops. My bishop's kind of done its job, taking on c5. This is a nice knight here. I'm willing to trade it for the bishop. In a lot of lines, in a lot of early lines, I'm willing to trade it for the bishop, even straight up. So again, he's not quite going for this. So let's see, a queen trade. So basically, so if I do, I'm just looking at some lines. So I'm thinking about like knight here now, so that if this happens, this happens. Queen comes down, my knight can come back, and now he has to move the knight here. I'm kind of okay with that for now. I've got to reroute my knight, and my bishop's not doing too hot right now. I want to try to get my bishop out as well. He's going to push his bishop out here shortly too. He's preserving this this right to castle in this direction. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe moving the queen out now is probably a good idea. Stopping this, kind of pinning it. If he plays this, that's a concession. So I think I'm going to do that. And then if he goes here, oh, that is just a fork. I'm picking up 2 pawns though. It's an interesting concept. I'm picking up 2 pawns for the piece. Yeah. Oh, he just pushed. That's super weird. I think that might have been a mouse slip. Yeah, it was just a mouse slip. That's crazy. Wow. So we're just going to take a look at the analysis board. Yeah, he just mouse slipped. He wanted to take my bishop, and he pushed it forward instead. Just tried to take time, and you'll see me do that during my games as well. So we got really lucky during that game. So let's just backtrack real quick. So this is, yeah, just an Indian offense. Yeah, so d6 is the most common move played here. And then knight g3, and then castles, and then c5. Oh, and then c7. Okay, I wonder what the idea behind c7 is. That's interesting. I wonder what the idea behind c7 is. So c5, and he actually took it. Okay, so taking is back is best. Yeah, I just played the knight up. I think that castling here is good. What is the... Yeah, castling here is probably the best. Taking the bishop is best. Okay, interesting. Yeah, and then this is... Yeah, this is just a terrible move. But again, he kind of blundered this. That's so unlucky. That's so unlucky. Wow. Yeah, so just taking the bishop here. And the idea is that he's got this rook, this open file for the rook. And then he's going to go ahead and pull the bishop and the queen out like this, and then he's going to get long castled like this and took his king away in the corner. So that's an interesting way to play, and I got to hand it to him. I didn't play precisely at all. Okay, so yeah, I guess c4 is or c5 is an option in this position. Alright, so this is the way that it's supposed to be played, but yeah. Alright, well, let's move on to the next one. Play another one. And let me know in the comments if, or in the chat if I'm playing too fast. I usually play d4 first. I was playing e4 for the longest time, then I switched over to d4, and then I was playing the Jabava London, which is like a reverse London, like this. I was playing that for a long time. So I'm actually going to play that now, I think, with the idea that I have these kinds of ideas. And I can't remember if I do it in this position. I really don't know. I think that the only move to prevent that is here, and then I'm supposed to play something like this. So let's go for that. I think he's going to play this, and then we're just going to push forward a little bit. It's good that he's thinking. This is that's the most common reply, and then this is what we're going to do. Yep, and then we're supposed to just move our knight back from what I remember. And the idea is that this knight looks stupid here. That's an interesting move. So I'll be able to not only defend, or not only develop my bishop, but take this and kind of wreck the pawn structure. I wonder if that's going to be worth it. I think it is. With this bishop here eyeing this this b8 square, I think that's for the best, actually. So let's just move our knight out and get castled. I think he should be castling here. Yeah. Then we're going to get castled. Now this my knight is free, and I have ideas of doing stuff like this. I want to get my queen out as well. Yeah, so that's interesting. So we're starting to kind of get to the point where we're pulling some things off the board. So let me just think about this. I'd like to take this and then do this kind of maneuver. That looks good. So let's do that and get my knight more centralized. Alright, so he's put his knight here to do basically that exact same thing. What can we do about that? That's interesting. So I could do this kind of maneuver. I could also do this kind of maneuver. Just try to get it to this square so it's defending as well. I also like bringing my queen up and start thinking about ideas like this. I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I should do this first. That's a good idea. All right, let's do this. I'm kind of eyeing this. The queen wants to be more centralized anyway. Oh, so he just pushes the pawn. Okay, with the idea that I'm not going to be able to take it. I guess I should take it. So takes, queen takes. Is that his idea? And then I'll probably do something like, I don't really want to put this pawn up here. Maybe I should just defend it. I think I'm just gonna well, if I just defend it, the problem is that if I just defend this pawn, he pushes like this. It doesn't help my position. If I push like this, then he has captures. Takes. Oh. So let's look at maybe this and then this first, and then takes. Okay, so maybe I actually like this idea, this push right here, because this was always going to be my weakness on c2. So it's an interesting play. Okay, so now he's trying to develop the bishop. Okay. Now I think taking is good. Yeah, this is getting to be a little bit more interesting now. This, in a lot of lines, he's going to look out to make sure that this pawn's not hanging, but it's fine. So now I have this move. Am I not just picking up this pawn? Now if I take, he can't take this way because I take his queen. So he has to take back, but then when he takes back, I can take this with the knight. So I think this just wins a pawn. He's going to take that way. And then the question is, should I take with the queen or should I take with the knight? I think taking with the queen is more forcing in a bad position. Takes. Okay, so he's targeting my knight. He was also targeting this square over here. So I have to defend that. So I think just pushing the pawn up should be fine. That should work. It's funny that something like this doesn't really work. You might do something like this, try to get some discoveries on my queen. I might put queen here then, if that's the case. I'm okay with trading queens in this position. His bishop's not as strong, and he's got some really weak pawn structures here. So he's got 3 pawn islands. Technically, this is 4 pawn islands because these pawns really don't protect one another. But I'm okay with trading here. If this pawn, so for instance, if this pawn pushed, then I'll just play here. I also want to bring my knights to the middle of the board. Or not my knights, my rooks to the middle of the board. This pawn's pretty weak. I gotta be careful about it. Yeah, let's do this. With the idea that I'm okay with to trade. I'm actually gonna pull my knight off the center, off of the rim of the board. Oh, you know what? I just hung my knight here. Yeah, I just hung my knight. All right, so we're gonna have to. We have to be a little bit more careful. Something like this, maybe. Let's do this. He might just go back. I'm down a piece then. But I've got a better pawn structure overall. Again, I'm kind of okay with leaving. Okay, so now he's given me a chance to kind of develop this with tempo. Or put it in a better spot with tempo. So now I'm looking at. Okay. That's a good move. It's a good move. Kind of want to do this. Get my king closer. This is coming shortly. So I'm thinking like things like this. Yeah. Just protect the knight. I've got, oh, sorry. That's an interesting move. So his idea is to go here. Targeting this pawn as well. Here's interesting. I feel like here I'd probably go something like maybe here. Maybe back. Probably back. Just support this. Or I like this move too. Yeah, this kind of stops this. Okay, now he's threatening to do it. So now we're going to go here. Because now he's threatening to go here. And kind of just harass my rook. Alright, so now he's threatening this move now. He's also threatening this pawn over here. I just realized. If I go here, then he's got this move. And then my rook is kind of weirdly placed. So I think I'm gonna go here to protect against this this attack. He's gonna collect this. My knight's not really doing too hot right now. I really want to get out of play. It's interesting. Do I have this move? No, I don't have this move. So he's forcing my knight away. Which, I mean, this looks like a pretty reasonable spot to put the knight. And now I'm threatening to take here. So he might be forced to take, and then here. Now he's winning the exchange. Okay. So we're going to go here and threaten the rook. Yeah, my position is crumbling pretty quickly here. Yeah, feel free to comment down below if you guys want to watch, if you guys want to play. Okay, so that's a push. So the idea is that if takes, the rook is then kind of opening it up. But I'm thinking about stuff like this now, right? Am I not? So let me see. It's takes. This is threatened as well then at that point. That is a good point, sir. I could do, so this is this, yeah. I'd have to do this with the idea that then he's going to push. I'm going to have a check here. All right, let's just do that. And then this push. Actually, I have this check. But does it do anything? Probably not. Got this check. And then if he moves closer, there's not really a good way for me to support it. Oh, he's just going to threaten it that way. Okay. He is threatening to come in with the queen. I'm just going to go here. He's going to still pick up the knight. If I go here. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I'm just kind of suckered out of this one. No Gouda. My knight's hanging after this. Moves up then here. Took him a little while to find it though. It was interesting. So if here that I have this move. It's interesting. I'm hoping that he goes check here. Oh, yeah, he has this idea or this idea. Oop. This idea or this idea. Which I wonder why he's taking so long for it. That's the weird part. Yeah, he's got a mate here. No, he doesn't have a mate. This isn't mate. He's gonna have to bring his bishop down. He's misplayed this a little bit. This move is interesting. I think this is probably the best. That's one way to do it, I guess. I'm pinning this pawn as well. He takes the pawn, I take the bishop. Yeah. That's a mate. So let's take a look at that one and see where I went wrong. Just a quick little study. Yeah, so that's the best, and then yeah, this is good. Moving it back, yep. Taking the knight is good. Okay, so bishop out here is okay. Oh, okay. It's not only slightly okay. Okay. Now it's more even. I should definitely take that. This is a good route for the knight. Ah, thank goodness. What? This is so nice to see. Queen d3 is the computer's favorite move. Yeah, I thought about this. I thought about this idea as well. Just pinning the pawn. And there's just no way to protect it. Yeah. And then once pawn takes, I probably would have done it like that. Yeah, it's still more difficult to hold on to the pawn. Or maybe it's not. That's a nice move. Yeah, you still retain the one pawn advantage. That's nice. And then yeah, and then oh, is it? It is to take. Yeah, I guess you're up 2 pawns technically. Yeah, that should have been the way to play that. Okay. Yeah, not a good way to go. All right, let's do another one. Again, anybody who wants to play in the chat, feel free. Go ahead and reach out. I'm not disappointed with that last game. Played an opening that I wasn't really too familiar with. Still managed to get an even position out of it, and I just misplayed it. So, this looks like the start of. This is a weird Sicilian. So the idea of these moves are to stop these pieces from entering. And I think I've learned over time that you don't want to try to attack this bishop. You don't want to try to take it, but you do want to push this this d5 push in the middle. So if I do it now, takes, and it's not there. I think the problem with it is that I'm always afraid of playing this move because of this. And I know, for some reason in my head, I know that this is probably still the correct move. This is still probably the computer move, and I can't for the life of me what it saw after this move. Now I think the idea is just to play here. Now takes, and the bishop can't take back. But maybe I should just develop my pieces first. I'm starting to like this move more and more. Yeah, I think I'm going to play this. Now after this... Oh, no, now he has this. So now I'm starting to think about like this, because he played this move to support the pawn from the knight. So this, maybe just push. Takes this way or this way. I think that's for the best for me. I feel like that's probably going to work out for me. Yeah. You can go ahead and take this. I'm going to take your knight. This he's pulling from the middle, I'm pulling from the middle, but I feel like I have a little bit more pressure here. He's got 2 pieces developed, I've got 2 pieces developed. It's interesting because this knight is running out of a little bit out of space. Not a lot, but a little bit out of space. So obviously he can't move here. He has to move back. All right, and that's you know that's admirable. Do I go here now, threatening this? Interesting, interesting. Probably, unless I feel like some kind of. The problem with moves like this is that you get your knight trapped. So moving it here, and then you move your knight back and say, hey, I've weakened your side. Or do I just go straight for the middle with my knight and then put some pressure on this pawn? I think that's probably for the best, and say, hey, if you're going to take me, I'll take back. But I'm putting pressure on this. I like that. Gonna get my bishops developed. Okay, so now I've got all kinds of weird little ideas here. So yeah, he's protecting this. I really should probably develop my bishops. This probably does the most for me, though. So I was thinking about getting my bishops developed, and this one I think does the most for me, because now I can develop this bishop, and that's on the long diagonal. Yeah, now it's looking at the king. Okay, so now he's kind of decided where his king is going to be. I like the idea of rerouting the knight over here. I actually kind of like this idea as well of doing this and then this pawn push, but then he can just go past it. So I'm a little bit more worried about that. So maybe something like this. I like the knight reroute though. That looks really good. I think I'm going to do that with the idea that if he ever takes this, I'm going to take it back. Okay, so he's brought his knight in to defend it. And now I think we need to defend. Now we need to start thinking about developing our bishop. Like, this is a target now. So what is he doing at this idea? So this is a common kind of idea in things like the Grand Prix, which is another opening. I think that this forces this bishop to take here. Or else he pushes. I don't think he's going to push, though. If he pushes... Oh, he doesn't. So he's going to let me take this. So his idea, I guess, is here. Takes. Oh, that doesn't work because I can take back with the knight. So am I just winning this pawn for free then? Or he's going to jump his knight into here. That's what he's going to do. For a check and pick up the bishop. Gotcha. Okay. So if that's the idea, should I just castle then? If I castle, yeah, that should be fine. I'll castle. Now if he tries to pick this up, I'm just going to take back with the knight and still protect the square. I'd like to get rid of this bishop over here, or take it out of play, kind of, you know. It's another interesting move. So now I'm thinking about moves like this. The problem with it is that it undefends this. Alright, so I take, he takes with the knight. Okay. I think he's going to take with the knight, and then he's going to do this. Am I... I'm not really threatening this, am I? Maybe I am. Oh, maybe I am. Okay, so wait. So what happens on this? So you just take this. So I go here. He takes. I take here. He takes here. Okay, so that's his idea. I can't really move forward with it then. But what if I do something like this? Counter. Well, I can still go here. So I can go here. He takes. Or he takes here first. Then I take. Oh, maybe I take with the knight. Or maybe I take with the... Okay, let's do this. Because I think I take with the queen now. And he doesn't have time to take my knight. So he's got to play something like this, maybe? So if he plays this, the idea is that I'm just going to take. He's calculating this. I know that he is. So he's calculating this. And then what here? And takes. There's all kinds of silly moves. So here. Yeah, I think I have to go here. And then takes. Oh, he doesn't do it. That's a weird move. I think that's a missed opportunity. Oh, king takes. Yeah, this is super weird. So now what about this move? I'm still hanging this pawn. I think I'm just going to move up. All right. That's a weird move. Okay, so now I'm gonna threaten this. Now that this is defended. So now I'm attacking this twice. And what's cool about that is that if this pawn falls, then this knight falls as well. He can defend it, but then he really doesn't want to, because then I have stuff like this. He could push it. Oh, he doubles defends it with a knight. Okay. So now I'm going to play this move. Now I'm attacking it 3 times now. Oh, now he's pinned it. Okay. So let's say knight takes, pawn push. I'm threatening something. I'm threatening something in this position, right? What about just pawn push now? Maybe takes? Or queen takes. Queen takes, probably. Alright, so let's do this. If bishop, then I just push, right? Oh, I can't push. I misplayed this. Yeah, I can't push. I can't push the pawn. Yeah, let's do this. And now what's funny about this is that this or this, well, I mean, obviously bishop take is probably better first. But this knight is hanging. Yeah, this knight is hanging. So maybe something like this. Yep. All right. This is to make clearance for this rook to come over because the rook is pinned. He's probably going to see that and he's probably going to move his king away. I really don't want to make this pawn push because the rook and the bishop are still looking at this, so after the king moves, I'm still thinking about things like this. And takes. Well, he can't move away. Oh, so the rook is like legit pinned. So like he would have to do something like this. But then this, and then that's check. So he's got to move away again. So he can't. So the only way to do that then is to hold on with something like this. And then this. Yeah, I'm weirdly winning. I'm not winning the rook, but it's getting close to winning that rook. If I can move my king up, the problem is that then he has this. Oh, that's an interesting move. Do I really want my king? I mean, this is almost, it looks like a free pawn. Obviously it's not, but it could be. It's such a weird pattern. Such a weird pattern. It really is. Now he can't move over here because he has this. I have this. Yeah. Now if he tries to go here now, I take first with my queen. Yeah, so he can't do that just yet. He's got to protect the rook, so he's got to move the... Oh, he does do that. Yeah, he doesn't have this little in-between move. He's got to go back, yeah. Should I take the draw? I'm thinking about moves like this now, actually. Oh, yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, no, tell me that I'm lost, please. Oh, I'm just better. Because I thought about this move. That's so unfair. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about this move. I wish it would tell you what this opening is considered. So this is Masters database. These are all pretty standard moves. Oh, I should really. I have this move in the opening. Oh yeah, I have it right now. Yeah, of course. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Why I'm always afraid of this move, but I guess I shouldn't be. Because why? I guess it really hinders this knight. So let's go back and look at it again. I should just push this pawn forward. I do. What does the engine say? Engine says move it back. I said I was okay with this move. Yep, and then forward. And then yeah, it immediately starts looking at this opportunity before anything starts developing on the white side, which is awesome. Yeah, now I see it, and now it's probably a little too late. Wonder what the idea over here is, just to get the queen developed, maybe. Oh, because this is gonna be a target. But this square is also a target. That's the thing. Yeah, I should push this pawn, but I don't. He pushes here. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought this was good for him. I was trying to see it myself. Yeah, I just took. Okay, yeah, that's decent. Takes. Yeah. And now we're dead even. Yep. Okay, so this was good. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I wish that I had. I had this in the back of my mind, but I only after we had gotten to twofold. I should have slowed down. This is just a really good. Yeah, this is just a really good piece. So if here, then. Oh my goodness. Again, threatening this. So you have to kind of move out of the way. This is just an evil move. The rook is pinned, so you can't move it. So you're just going to threaten to take it. This bishop is all but pushed out of the position. Saying this is best. Takes. Yeah. Pitting mine. Oh, and just oh my gosh, this is just rude. Yeah. The problem with doing that is that then I have this, and then I also have this move, I think, right? Yeah, just forcing. Wow. Yeah. All right. On to the next one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. Wanted to play a 10-minute game. All right. Let's go. Against F. Bhutan 143. I almost always play the Sicilian, so that's the way to go. This is okay. So I've always found that with this move, this is a really good response to it. Because now you don't have the knight threat of coming out. This is an interesting push. What's to stop me from pinning and winning this? And then this. Yeah, I think that this is probably good, right? And then yeah, the problem with this, I thought, though, was that I take once, takes, I take here, and now you're forced to take back with this, because if you take back any other way, yeah, now I take this, and you kind of have to take back this way, right? Because if you take back with the queen, then I gobble this pawn up. So this is kind of more forced. Yeah. And then from here, I should just be developing naturally. So now I should just do things like this. Get castled. Should probably do this first. And now this. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. I'll just take. Yeah, there's just a lot of pain points now in this position. Now I don't want to take. I don't want to take that. That would be bad. But I do want to develop my bishop out. Yeah, something like this now is pretty interesting. Because I go here, and if I go here with the bishop, this pawn is pinned to the king. So this allows me to pick up this bishop. I'm just going to pre-move this, because that's the only way to pick up the knight. Again, that's an interesting way of doing it. I'm going to force the issue a little bit here. I'm going to do this again. Actually, yeah, I kind of have to, because this is with check. He takes with check. Okay. Interesting. All right, so he's not castling this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and castle and say, if you're going to take my knight, take my knight. Make it quick. This bishop is not where it wants to be. There's a... Yeah. Oh, so now this pawn is literally hanging now. Now I can take this. Takes. And I'm hitting both the queen and the bishop. That's probably for the best. That's almost resignable. Yeah, I'm just going to pre-move this. Oh. I mean, yeah, do I pick up another pawn? Oh, I pick up the pawn and I'm threatening the fork. Oh, I don't threaten the fork. I just pick it up. Unless the king moves forward. And then do I move back? Yeah, this is really nice. This is a really nice position. Because now I pick up this pawn. So he threatens, yeah, now I'm doing this. Yeah, this is... I would resign here. I'm threatening... I'm not... No, I am threatening this, yeah. I'm threatening the queen right now with this. I'm also threatening this pawn push, which forks the two pieces here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. That looks really good. Now, if you move this away, I do this, I think. No. So he's getting a little bit of wiggle room out of this that I don't like. So if I take, he takes, I take, he takes here. I actually pick up another fork at the end of that line. This is so interesting. I love games like this. So he's found a way to kind of squeak out of this position so that this isn't a fork, direct fork. But if you watch the end of this line, so if I take here, he doesn't have time to take here because I'm threatening the queen with my pawn. So the only way to alleviate that and win this knight is for him to exchange the queens, and then I take, and then he takes my knight. But then at the end of that line, I have this rook that's right here now on d8. I have it up to here because this knight's no longer here. Yeah, that's super interesting. I like that. Now we're going to go ahead and pre-move this because I think that's one of the only moves. He can't leave the queen hanging. And if he leaves the queen hanging, or if he moves the queen away, then yeah. So he's going to do this. And the only question I have here, I guess, is it better to take the pawn? Which it's probably not. Yeah, I think this is just good. And this is the fork. Fork in the two bishops. That's the importance of seeing lines a little bit further ahead. 3 moves, 4 moves ahead. That was 1. Yeah. And that's a resign. That's a good resign against a 2150. That's really good. Yeah. That's an excellent game. I like that. So here he found this move, and the computer's gonna obviously find something stronger. That's funny. That's a good move. Threatening to take the bishop if you move the knight. The knight's under attack. And you can't really, there's not a good way to take this. So the idea is that once you move here, takes, that anyway takes, queen takes I guess is best. You have this picking up the bishop at the end of the line. Let's see what I found was takes, which is fine, and then here. Oh, and then the rook up. It likes that move better. I liked this. Yeah, and yeah, in this case, the rooks get a little bit way more active. Actually, way more active. But, yeah, I'm still firmly in the lead. I'm a piece up. I don't know why the engine likes this instead. I think that's just uncalled for. Like, why mess up your pawn structure even further? Yeah. It sees a defense of the different pieces. Yeah. But yeah, overall not a bad game. Let's take a look at this game real quick, just through the entrance. See, again, this is where I thought you should always push d5 when you get an opportunity here. And the move that's most often played is knight f6, and then the second best is 11. So it's not that big of a difference. A little bit more play for white if you look at the percentages than knight f6. And then after this move, okay, just knight to the center. c4 is the most common played, and then knight back to b6. This is a really weird way to play this. I wonder what kind of... This is the Sicilian defense Alpine, or this is just the old Sicilian. Okay, this is Alpine variation, I guess, with a back. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Hello, the Colster. You want to play Colster? You down to play? Do you play chess? I don't know if Colster plays chess. I'll give you a few seconds to reply. I don't care, man. If you get in, just get in here. Do you have a Lichess account? lichess.org. Dude, I'm playing viewers, dude. If you're following me, I'm more than happy to play. I'll give you a free lesson. Yeah, I mean, you can also do a guest account and just go on leeches.org, and then you just go to, I think you just go to the top right challenges and put in a challenge for Crush Kinger. Crushkinger. And I'll update that for everybody who's watching. I'll update that in the future so that it's Lucky Larry Live. Yeah. And we'll play with the Colster. This is always nice, that the following the top games. So let's look at the line that I took. Daniel Dubov played this as black. I'm in good company. This is, wow. Out of the 22 games that are in the database, White has not won a single game in this position. Yeah. Yeah. Max Lagarde. Okay. Yeah. And now, it wants me to take first. I guess that's the trickier way to do it. Yeah. And I'm still just, I'm almost up a straight pawn. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Same idea of bringing the knight in. That's nice pattern recognition. On this one, it is Crush Kinger, all one word, Crushkinger. For everybody who knows who that is, please put it down or what that's a play on. Go ahead and put it down in the chat. I love a specific chess guru master that I used to watch a lot, who probably still makes videos with a very similar name. But yeah, I liked his name. He was an inspiration to me to start playing chess a little bit more seriously. So yeah, I like this move, this knight move. And then, yeah, just continuing with the idea, the thought process, bringing the bishop out. Okay, so yeah, I remember thinking to myself, these are the two squares right here that I want to consider. Well, I mean, obviously, those are the only two squares for the bishop to consider, but I definitely knew that I wanted to play my bishop out. So, and this is new to the chess base. So where did I deviate? Let's see where I deviated. Queen G7, Queen E3. Okay, so they deviated. Yeah, Queen E3, or bishop. I'm sorry, Bishop E3. Yeah, this move, which he plays later on. Which I'm gonna say he plays it here. I'm gonna say that if this was played, then this, and then Bishop D3. Bishop D3. Was this played in a snap, like a 1 minute game? I don't understand this. Oh. Am I dropping the knight? Oh no, because you can take the queen first. Let's just follow this game real quick. I think that's for the best, yeah. Threatening to take this. Or no, you're not. You're just kind of alleviating it. They played here, and then back, and then just, no, not even takes, just back. Oh man, the idea here is that you just gotta get your king out of the way. No, even if the pawn structure is bad, you just got to move and do it. Yeah. That's an interesting way to go about doing it. Yeah, what about this? Yeah, you are kind of picking up a pawn, huh? Yeah, but I mean, so superficial. So now the idea is to route the knight over here to target the bishop, and when the bishop falls back, you can pick up this pawn because there's discoordination. You also have moves like this. Let's see what happens in the game. Oh. That's funny. Knight can't move to pick it up. Yeah, now you're threatening it back. Now we're going to take. And we're going to take this one. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So in my game, we got to here, and no games were found. Okay, yeah. Now castles. Yeah, and then this is what I saw in the game. It's like, isn't this just free? That's just free. That's just free. And yeah, I mean, you're down a bunch of material. That's funny. Yeah. Yep. Good. Good game. I missed your name. Would you repeat it? Yes. It is Crushkinger, all one word. CRUSHKINGER. And then I'd prefer 10-minute because we're going over 10-minute games. You're going to be my last game of the night, but I hope that everybody who's been watching has enjoyed it. Kind of looking at the at this, I would say at this stage, at 2100, 2200 level, you're probably going to get games that make a little bit more sense. You're not really going to find anybody who's playing like out of their mind. But when I start up the new account under Lucky Larry Live, that works out, Colzer. Yeah, I'll just catch you on another time. I'll play one more then after this. But yeah, when I create my Lucky Larry Live account, it'll start fresh. It'll start at whatever the Lichess server started at. So, and I'll probably do a series then of working through those games, and trying to do my best to explain kind of my thought processes and where my opponents are going wrong. At least in the early stages when I'm playing a lower rated players. So, all right, we're gonna play. Yep, we're gonna play one more 10-minute game. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. So 21-17. Again, we're not gonna really worry about our rating on this one. So this is called the Grunfeld. Or it's shaping up to be the Grunfeld, with the idea that I play this move and they immediately push this pawn instead of developing the bishop. Oh, he played the bishop now. So this is an interesting way to play. I think this is the main line with the idea that he's going to play this move. Yeah. Okay, so now this is just a King's Indian defense. And I think that this is the main move or the main idea. I just watched a game recently on this. And I can't remember what the general concepts are. I remember that in that game, I think it was Ding Liren versus Magnus Carlsen. I think that the move that was played was this. And it was Ding Liren who was playing white against Magnus Carlsen, who actually won. Ding Liren actually won. But it's an interesting way to stop these pieces from moving in. And then the eventual idea is to play moves like on this side of the board and push for an advantage on this side of the board. Okay, well, yeah, you don't want to trade. You definitely want to keep the center kind of closed in positions like this. That's a standard move. The idea that you want to kind of... Well, I thought you'd want to play this, but I guess not. The question is, where do I want to put my king? And what is opening the side of the board good for me? And I think in general, what black probably strives to do is to do something like this and push the f pawn. So targeting the left-hand side or the queen side of the board would probably be best. Thinking about moves like this, I'd like to get developed on this side of the board. Do stuff like this. It's going to come down to kind of a question about what black decides to do and what side of the board they want to try to open. Okay, so he's not putting his knight back. So he's not attacking on this side of the board. He's definitely going for a queenside attack. So I'm thinking about moves like, let's just clear that a little bit. I'm thinking about moves like this to try to push this pawn. I do want to get castled and get over here as well. I also like the idea of this kind of maneuver and this maneuver. So let's do this. Let's put the knight. I know it's not the best move, but it also kind of prevents stuff like this. This move is met with this. Oh, I just completely overlooked that I'm dropping that pawn. All right, well, I mean, this is kind of what I wanted to do to begin with, is to get this bishop more active. Get castled. So he puts it back. He's probably going to move the rook over, threatening the fork. By then I'll have this kind of a idea going, or at least I think I should. I want to get my rook away as well, because once he pushes, this is going to be, well, I guess not. I was guess because it's actually protected by the knight, but yeah, just okay. Listen, I'm okay with trading that off. So my plan was always to go over here anyway. So now he's switching to like almost a kingside attack over on this side. But these pawns are, this is a weak pawn. I'm going to castle. I think his knight was a much better piece than my bishop. He's up a pawn, but it looks like I might be winning this pawn back. If he does something like this, it's not immediately losing, because I can't really push the pawn immediately, or I really probably don't want to. But I have ideas like this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to castle, and then I have ideas like this, yeah. What's so nice about this move to c2 with the queen is that I'm targeting this, and I'm also helping promote this this push up. This is another move, but I'm okay with that. Oh, so now he's just gonna target my knight. Am I okay with moving it back? I feel like I'm okay with moving it back. I'm putting yet another attacker on here as well. Yeah, and then I'm going to do this. And what's cool about it is that because I'm attacking with both knights, I can take, let's say I take with this knight. Oh, you know, he can't take with the knight. And then kind of put himself in a good position there. That's interesting. I still feel like I'm winning this pawn. I just got to be careful about not pinning whatever's taking it. Yeah, that's an interesting move. I still like the idea of doing this. And now this is probably a good move. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay, so now I want to do things like... He's go and go here, I guess. Trade queens. All right, now I've got to be a little bit more. Not more careful, but I have to be a little bit more aware of what my opponent wants to do. So I think a move like this is probably best. Yeah, and now I'm targeting this pawn. Okay. The question is, where do my pieces want to be? My rook doesn't want to be over here. I feel like my rook would rather be... rather be almost on a white square, on a light square. Yeah. So he's bettered his bishop momentarily. So now I'm thinking about things like this. Takes. That doesn't really work out. I like the idea of targeting this pawn, though. All of his pawns are on dark squares, and he's got a dark squared bishop. So typically that's going to favor me. So what I'd really like to do is like this, and then push the pawn up. I'm almost thinking about pushing it all the way up, but I don't quite want to do that. Yeah. Let's do this. A little lower on time, but it's gonna work out my benefit to have the pawns on dark squares, because it's gonna be they're gonna be better targets for me in the long run. Whereas if I put all my pawns on light squares, his bishop can't target them. They become less of a target. So trading queens here would be okay for me. And then just getting getting my pawns active or more active would be better. Trying to think about how I could better be suited to do this. So I was initially thinking about something like this, but I don't really want to weaken my structure. I was thinking about something like this and offering the queen trade. But then my pawn becomes a little bit more of a target than I'd like it to be. Although I do have moves like this, takes. Yeah. My thinking is that he's going to put a pawn here, but I don't think I'm off. He's going to put his bishop here, but I don't think it's going to be a hazard to me. Okay. What about now? Interesting. I go for this. I'm disrupting this this connection right here with this pawn. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Am I okay with this? Probably not. I probably want to keep my bishop on, right? So this is an interesting concept. He really doesn't want to put this here and then trade with the pawn. So if I take this, he's going to take back with the rook. His rooks are a little bit more active. I like the idea of doing this though. And trading it on, kind of trading it on my terms, which is what more of what I wanted. That's fine. I don't mind the push here because then I have this move. Gotta be careful about which mouse I'm pressing with. Yeah. That's fine. All right. So what is his idea here? To attack the pawn. Okay. Well, then we'll just push it. Yeah. My king's being a better defender of my pawns than his king is being an attacker at the moment. That's an interesting way of doing it. I'm gonna... Is it better to take this? I think it's just better to take this and then go... Oh! He takes back that way. So interesting. Do I want to keep this tension? Probably. Such a funny position. Yeah, that's fine. And then he's gonna what? Go up. Okay. So now we have to protect something, right? If he takes, I'm gonna push my rook over. This is a really interesting position. I've never we don't both of us don't really have time to work on it at all. Yeah, I want to get behind the That's an interesting spot. Yeah, I'm thinking about this. I don't think that was for the best. The problem is that my pawn's on this side of the board and his side is in the middle, or his king's in the middle. Takes. Yeah, and I'm going to run to this side of the board, and he's not. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. He's going to lose on time. Yep. Lost on time. It's a really interesting position. I'm sure that it's completely drawn. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and request a computer analysis as well. This will be our last game, so I don't mind it doing the analysis. Seven inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 8, 2, and 1. Okay, yeah. All right, start up from the beginning. Yeah, Master's database looks like this. It's interesting that. Okay, so yeah, so Knight F3 is the most commonly played, and H3 about a fifth of that time. But yeah, but it is a move. Then now, yeah, and H3 is now the second most common move played. Yep, and then yep, that makes sense. I didn't think about pinning the knight, but I probably should have. And instead, I completely dropped a pawn, which was very interesting. Then he almost gifts it back, basically. So there's an inaccuracy. That's an inaccuracy. Just winning the pawn back for free. Yeah, that's an interesting move. Okay, so it's telling me that this is just best. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably best. I didn't even think about this. Just, I thought, oh yeah, it just frees up space for my queen. It does a lot of important things, and these pawn breaks are what's, I'm gonna guess that's probably one of the areas where, yeah, I was just in a better position. This is where we're at right now. We're in a better position, and we just kind of let it slip. And we're not really. I thought I was bettering my position, but it's so weird. So yeah, we're very evenish. Yeah, this got really weird really fast. So taking's best. I'm glad that I found like one of the only moves in this position. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And then here. What does it want me to do? Wants me to go over here with the idea of what? After it takes. Okay. Yeah. You're dropping a pawn. So this is it's a weird way to think about it, but this is technically a fork because your king has to make a decision. Does it want to protect this pawn, or does it want to just move up the board? And the problem with moving up the board immediately is that, well, besides dropping this pawn, the problem with protecting the pawn is that if you protect the pawn, then we trade rooks, or attempt to trade rooks. This is interesting. This is just a draw. That's funny. So the idea is that if you take here, I take. We both, yeah. I mean, yeah, this is probably, yeah, this is a draw. But yeah, that's a good position. That's an interesting position. Yeah, I just dropped that pawn in the beginning. It was interesting. But I didn't see that. Just wasn't paying attention, I guess. And I got into a position where I thought I was going to be okay or better. And then in this position, it's just a draw. That was an interesting thought. And yeah, this is still a draw with really good play. Still a draw. And then he plays this move, which is really weird because it allows me to. The idea is to go here and trade because the rook is pinned. I don't have an opportunity to take this pawn. So I have to move in order to do this, and now this just drops this pawn. And then he picks up my pawn, and now it's a race to see who can get down to the end of the board first, which is still a draw, which makes sense. But then he just gives me the pawn for free instead of going without going after mine. So he drops this pawn, and I think it's still a draw. The computer still says it's a draw. Yeah, even this is a draw, but it's a really hard fought draw. It's like. I mean, oh, okay, so I can't go there because it's. Okay, so what about this? Oh, I dropped the rook. That's hilarious. So what happens on this? Goes back. Okay. Yeah, it just checks infinitely. Yeah. And you're not winning anything out of this. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a draw. It's a draw, it's a draw, it's a draw. He just lost on time. Yeah, just lost on time. Yeah, that one blunder was the pawn dropping. Some interesting moments where I did. If you look, he was winning a lot more of the time than I was. I was holding on to positions. So in this position, yeah, it just drops the pawn. And then he immediately, kind of in a weird way, gifts it back in a better position. Then, let's see, he gets down to here. That's a bad move for me. Yeah, this is an interesting move instead of that. This. threatening this. If this just, you just take it. Okay. Then here down here, he was... How much is he up in here? He's up almost 2 pawns. So I should take this, and when he takes back... Okay, so this is basically the exact same position we had. Yeah, and it's just a draw. To draw, to draw, to draw, to draw. Yeah. Okay. And that is a game. So, that being said, I am going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody who did stop by and was able to watch. Anybody who's willing to follow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and upload this as well to YouTube. And yeah, I'm just going to keep rolling them out and hopefully build it up a little bit. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start a new account on Lichess, and we'll run that series here in the future. So thanks everybody who's watching, and you guys have a wonderful night.